Greetings, friends. We're at the parking lot for Twin Lakes, my all-time favorite hike ever since high school up here in the North Umpqua, and have been in here a number of times to hike it in all the seasons and have camped. I'm coming from a breakfast meeting down in Roseburg today, so I've got on blue jeans and cowboy boots and whatnot. Gonna get my hiking clothes on and the pack ready, and then gonna go in. Plan is to do both lakes and then hike up to the top of the cliff and get a view down on the lakes. Hope you'll come with me. Officially on the trail. As I was getting the pack ready, one couple came up in their truck with their dog, but otherwise, as you can see, it's just the two cars in the parking lot. Oh boy, it smells so good up here. Some great big old trees I'll show you. It smells just like incense. It is so beautiful. Birds chirping, a lot of butterflies, a lot of flowers out, and saw some rhododendrons along the roadside, which means we're gonna get some great ones up at the lake. It's about 3+ miles round trip to the lakes, plus a side trip up to the top of the cliff that overlooks the lake for a total of somewhere around 5. I think it's about 850 feet of elevation if you go up the cliff. There have been a few fires through here over the years. Some of the trees in here were charred when I was a teenager hiking this, but then there's been a big fire up by the upper lake since I moved out of town. Here's a great example of some of the trees along this trail. Check out the size here, just to give you some thought of how big it is. Something I love about this hike is just the variety you get on it, from the old growth or big second growth to the meadows, to views out from cliffs, which we'll get to shortly, all the way to the lakes, and then up on top of the big cliff. You just kind of get a little flavor of almost everything along this trail. Getting close to one of the first great views. Oh, we got Tealson way out there. There we go. Hello, Tealson. I was like going just off the trail, get into this overlook here. You can see the road down below we came in. Oh, love it out here. Love it, love it, love it. It's nice to have a slight breeze. The mosquitos are out in force already, and I did not think to bring bug spray. All right, here we are, 1/4 mile to Twin Lakes. Or there's another trailhead up this way where you go up Little River Road to get to it, and that's 1.25 miles out. I've never come in that way, but when we're done with the lakes, we'll hike up that direction and get the views from the clifftop. This tree is new being down for me. I'm sure it's been down a long time. But we take this left, go down, and then we have just a little bit of uphill, all of 20, 30 feet before we get to the lakes. Oh, I see the first peekaboo view of the lake. Across the little bridge, shelter over here, fire pit and some logs. Camped here a number of times, and there is the first view of the lake right down there. I always like to come down the lake right when I first get here. Then I find myself hiking it clockwise because there's a great rock over on the other side that I always like to stop at for a snack or lunch break. Just had 2 more people hike in behind me. So busy day for Twin Lakes. Yeah, right across there you can see my favorite place for lunch. Leaving the first lake behind, it's a very short little walk up to the second lake. You can tell where some landslide long ago came down and blocked off the 2 lakes. We wanted to go around the first lake, we just keep going that way. But here, we'll work our way up to the second and smaller lake. Looks like I'm a little early for the rhododendrons. See some of them just starting to flower out back here. But when the rhododendrons up here are in bloom, just massive bushes and shrubs covered in color. And here we are out at the second lake. Warning about snags from all the weakened trees from the fire. This used to all be super lush. It's coming back. Wild strawberries on the ground right below me. Here we go, we get some rhododendron. Just back from the lake, nestled among these massive boulders, is a camping area. There used to be a 3-sided shelter here. You can see a great big old table. Looks like an outhouse. Roof caved in partially. It's seen better days. Looking up the table, you can see the cliff we'll climb up later, or hike up. But up there are some caves that someone showed me once when I was up here camping in high school. So we're going to see if we can go find those. Going cross country here. We're going way up the cliff face. A lot more dead branches than last time I was up here, which was fairly early on in the pandemic, so a while. Opa. Getting close to the base, although we got a steep climb ahead of us to get up to where I think the caves are. Really glad I was not here when these big rocks fell. I was bearing a little too far to the left, if memory serves, and it has been a long time ago. This crack up ahead may be what we're looking for. Well, I will win no points for fashion statements, but this is going to be my headlamp. Ooh, lots of mosquitoes. My headlamp GoPro setup as we attempt to scale up this. So let's see if any of the video turns out. Okay, glasses there. Okay. All right. That was a cave. Heard some things that were not water dropping in there. Probably a chipmunk, but just on the offhand chance, it is a large or small cougar or something else that I shouldn't run into in the cave alone. I'm going to backtrack. Okay, back down. Came all that way to not go very far, but as I got up close to the top of the cave mouth there, did hear something. Didn't sound like water, and it didn't sound like whatever else it might be. So I just decided, instead of risking running into a large furry four-legged creature or a ferocious chipmunk, I would save that for another day when I come back with a hiking partner. So now we'll head back down, circumnavigate the upper lake, back down to the first lake, and then we'll hike around and up to the top of that cliff. Mosquitoes! Ah! So many mosquitoes. With that, we are back down to the campsite, officially back on the trail around the lake. Fun little excursion. We'll call that type 2 fun. Here we go. Getting a taste for the rhododendrons here. I packed the drone in, and it is legal to fly it up here, but every time I stop, I get swarmed by mosquitoes. I think I'm going to be one mosquito bite, one big one tomorrow. Leaving the upper lake, heading back down to now complete the circuit of the first lake. And now we merge onto the trail back around the first lake. Now we get a taste for some of the more prolific rhododendrons through here. This rock is my favorite place to stop for snacks. There's a crack down the middle of it, which makes it easy to climb up on top. You just get to take in the views of the lake. And with that, we are maybe 100, 150 yards back to where we first came down the lake. We're going to cross the outlet stream here, and then pass the campsites for tents. Then we'll go back and head up the cliff face. Well, not up the cliff face. All right, looks like I guessed the campsite's a little too soon. There are some spots up here. Sorry, butterfly. Goodbye to Twin Lakes and the shelter. Next stop, hopefully, top of the bluff. Coming back to the trail junction. If we went left, take us back down to the trailhead. We are going to keep going straight up to the top. More blowdowns on the trail. Good little obstacle course up here. Oh, but trail zigs. So we're going to go back down here and just step over that one. Thank goodness it was all on the switchback. Didn't have to fight our way through it. Another nice big one down on the trail ahead. It is one blowdown after the other back there. Good little obstacle course, but I think we are getting fairly close to the Clifftop Overlook that I am gunning for. Going down, at least with all the obstacles, is going to be just as fun. Good thing I did the hurdles in high school. So I think this point out here is my end goal. You can see snow-capped peaks out in the distance. I think it's one of the Three Sisters out by Bend that I'm seeing. It's a little hazy, so hard to tell. Not positive, but I think I just passed some cougar scat on the trail. I'll take a picture on the way back. And if any of you know your scat, you can confirm whether it's cougar or not. First lake down below. Oh, good. Another deadfall across the trail. Wow. Excellent. Here's our turnoff for the viewpoint. That rocky knob right out in front of us. This is what we wanted. Ha! There we are. I think that's Diamond Peak at Mount Thielsen and Mount Bailey. That way. I zoom in. There's the big picnic table right down in the campus area, the upper lake. So we were up at the base of this when we were looking at the caves. Made it up to the top. Views are 100% worth. All the huffing and puffing to get up here and all the obstacles, navigating the blowdown. Happy I decided to add on. Normally I don't do this. Last time I did it I was in high school, which is longer ago now than I like to admit. Beautiful day. Thinking I might go try another one or two little short hikes to waterfalls or hot springs before calling it a day. Good hole from the root ball. We're back in the obstacle course section of the trail. There's the sign right ahead at the trail junction. When we get there, we will bear right, and then it's almost all downhill to the car. Back to our first overlook. Trailhead and car are in sight.